Hey everybody, it's Jen from ScanNCut Jam Sessions, ScanNCut Canvas and Scale Help. I'm working on a project and I want to show you something. Of course, this is a hot mess. Alright, so this is a blade that I've been using for probably a month. Maybe a little less, I don't know. But it's nowhere near the wear that you think would, it's pretty much, you would think like a brand new blade. Well, this is what it did. So I started messing with the settings and it did not matter. Okay, so I got out a new blade. Okay, so let's load this thing in here. Sorry, I'm trying to do this all one-handed. Got out a new blade. With the old blade, my setting was at about a 3.5. This one is at a 2. Sorry, there you go. Is at a 2. Alright, there's the cut. So it's still snagging a little bit, but look at the difference compared to this to this. Okay, so I'm going to go through and we're going to monkey with these settings here. I'll show you what it was on. Cut pressure -3. My speed is at a 2. I'm going to decrease that a little bit more. I'm going to keep messing around with it until I get a good cut. And what this is the Dom Loves Mary font by Debbie Smintelli. So it is kind of a curly fancy script font, but it's still, the ScanNCut should be able to cut this out. But again, I really have to go in and see what my machine likes. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can figure out what it's going to take for me to get this to cut smoothly. And I think we're about there because, I mean, that's only a few tiny little snags. Okay, so it looks like I achieved the setting that I wanted to get. There is no pull-ups, very few snags, but that's on the outside. So I'm going to keep going and see if I can get a nice clean cut. As you see there, it's nice and clean. So I will come back. Okay, I put my blade a little deeper. As you see, it's at a 3 right now. So let's see how this cuts. Looks like it's doing pretty good so far. It might be a little bit of lifting. Yeah. But sometimes don't panic if you see that lifting. Sometimes it's the outside and not actually your letter. So we'll have to go through and see what it looks like at the end. Okay, so I finished cutting. Let me see if I can bring you in on it. And this part of the O is actually the inner part that would be removed. Try to get this a little clearer. So this all looks okay, but it still shouldn't be doing that. You know, we shouldn't have to put up with this stuff. Alright, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to keep tweaking my settings and see what I can get. But a pressure of -3 and a speed of 2 is really, really low. But that seems to be a lot better than what was happening up here. I mean, that is a hot mess. Okay, so a new blade, and what I will actually do is I'm going to go ahead and on this little thing is I'm going to write fine, which means any fine lettering that I have to do, I will use that blade and only use that blade for fine lettering. Like some people have a blade for a fabric and some people have a blade for paper. Well, I'll have one for paper and one for fine detail. Okay? Okay, I've pretty much got it now. As you can see, there's no pulling and no tugging. So let's come up here and let's take a look at my settings. Cut pressure at a -5. So I'm going to keep monkeying around with this since this is kind of just like a scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to take it down to a 6. So anytime you start taking the cut pressure down, sometimes you have to increase your blade depth. But you want to just test it and make sure. So like this one, I see as I'm pulling it up, I'm going to have to increase my blade depth. Alright, so I've kept cutting and it is cutting beautifully. No more catches, no more tears. This last one I did take up to a -6 for the cut pressure. Okay, and I did take the blade depth, let me move you up here, to a 4. So I'm going to bump it up probably a little bit more because as you see it's not freely releasing. Alright, so it's still catching a little bit, but I cleaned up all those snags. So it went from that huge mess that I had in the initial beginning to now I'm getting nice smooth cutting, but I just have to work that blade depth a little bit. Alright, and I'm even going to go ahead and try the old blade to see if I can get that to cut okay. Okay, I put the old blade back in, so this is the new blade and this is the old blade. You can see there is a big difference. So I will go ahead, keep the new blade in, and I will write on this little blade holder here, fine, so that I know that it is for my fine lettering. And then I know to decrease that pressure to a -6, and then increase my blade depth accordingly. Okay, and here's the final end result. As you see, the pull-ups, the little fluffy cardstock boogers, well, those aren't the important parts of the actual letters. Those are the insides. Okay, so I'm not worried about those. It got the big fancy W just fine, but all of those things right there, that's the insides of like the O's and the E's. So I'm not worried about that. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let me get that focused in for you. So it looks like if you really adjust, really take that pressure way down, at least for my machine. Maybe your machine needs to go to a -4 or something. But right now mine sits at a -6 pressure, a speed of 3, and I took my blade depth. Let's take a peek, see what the blade depth is up to. Oh, let's focus this in here. Sorry guys. Blade depth is at a 6. Deepest I've ever had my settings for cardstock. But because, like I said, if you take that pressure down, you have to increase your blade depth. Okay, because it's not pressing so hard. So if you're not pressing hard, you have to increase the blade depth to get it to go through. I hope this helps you guys. I know I've seen a lot of questions about that. Thanks. If you have any questions, come find me at ScanNCut Canvas and Scal Help on Facebook. Alright, I wanted to show you, this is the after I pulled all the paper off and got it all weighted. So as you see, none of the letters are destroyed, nothing looks bad, nothing is caught or shredded, or I call them little fluffy boogers when it kind of catches and makes it bunch up. They look like those fuzzy dandelions. Don't have that. Let me get this out of here. So I hope that helps you guys to be able to fix it, because it can be really, really frustrating when you're trying to cut something and it just gets all messed up. Alright guys, have a good day.